MindMed is the first psychedelics company to go public ever. So basically they're developing next-gen treatments to help people with ADHD, addiction, anxiety, all those things. And real quick, if you're invested in MindMed, or if you want more people to see this, or if you just like this video, leave a like down below. I appreciate you all. Let's try to get 100 likes on this, and let's keep going. MMEDF is a name that you need to know because MindMed is revolutionizing the way that psychedelics are being administered to patients. A lot of people still see psychedelics as something taboo. They think that psychedelics is going to destroy everyone's lives, but that is exactly the reason why this needs to be important, and a company or a good group of people have to be in charge and lead this industry, so that way we can actually develop medicines and ways to heal people from this, because there are a lot of good in it. And that's why it's very important for a company like MindMed to really put stress on humanity and helping people and healing people, because if you go on their website you can really tell that that's what they're trying to do, to help ADHD and addiction, anxiety, also for psychedelic innovation, because there's you hear nowadays in Silicon Valley and Hong Kong, like all parts of the world, where people are microdosing off of LSD and different drugs. So sometimes they might be taking too much, or sometimes they're taking too little. You never know. So like actually having it administered to you by a doctor, where it's much better in quality as well than you going and getting it on the streets. This is something that needs to be in the market, and MMEDF is looking to be the leader in that. So Rahn is to become the sole CEO. If you do not know, they had basically 3 CEOs, but Rahn, he's the main one that you'll see on YouTube. He's done a lot of interviews. He's very well spoken. He articulates himself and the company's vision extremely well, so he does a very good job as a CEO, and that's why also it adds value to this MindMed company. Not only are they trying to innovate things and go into the psychedelics industry and actually get FDA approval. That's a big thing, because a lot of the marijuana companies, the reason why they went up a lot and then down a lot is because they never went through that FDA approval. Now that might change with President Biden being in office, but the psychedelics is taking it, MindMed especially, is taking it in a completely different route. They're trying to get FDA approval as soon as possible, and if you look at it, they're already using clinical studies that are sitting in universities all around the world, that basically that university is not doing much with it. It's just sitting in a book. Okay, like we know these things happen, but how do we put it in practice? That's where MindMed comes into place. They buy these studies for extremely cheap, actually, very, very cheap, and then they use their knowledge, because they have on their board some of the top professors in this space on their board, and they are very knowledgeable. They use that industry expertise and they put it all together, and then they make a valuable medicine out of it. So that's what gives this company its value. Full disclosure for everyone watching, I do have a small position in MindMed. We did purchase it back when it was 30 to 40 cents. I did know about this company back then. I don't know how it came up. Kevin O'Leary was speaking about it on my YouTube, so I just searched into more of it, and our company fund basically bought that stock back then, and we have a small position, and it's done very well for us. We did sell some just so we could cover our cost basis, but other than that, we're still holding strong, and we believe that this can hit at least $10. For some reason on YouTube, it shows that it hit $10 back in March 17, 2017. If anyone can tell me why that is, because from my understanding, they went public just in 2020. So they went public at around 50 cents, went up to $1, whatnot, came down, and then now it's just up, and it's gonna keep going up. If you're watching this video, we believe from our company standpoint that it's gonna hit $10, $15 easily within the next year, especially if they keep developing their psychedelics, and they're moving along really well in their calendar. When we purchased MMEDF about half a year ago. All these clinical trials were still in the discovery stage, preclinical. I think there was only 1 or 2 that were in phase 1. So they're moving along really quickly, actually. And once they get to phase 3 and get full approval, this company, from being a couple $billion, will be in the 30-50 billion in terms of market cap very easily. And that can happen in the next year. $30 is our target for 2021 for this, especially if they can keep moving at that rate. By the end of 2021, we believe that they will be almost done, if not done, with half of these stages. Again, I am not a financial advisor. You do your own research and make your own financial decision. There's a lot of exciting news in the psychedelics equities space. So there's been a lot of ETFs that have opened special psychedelics funds, basically, and they're traded on the stock market. MMEDF, again, is just now growing. They're possibly going to be listed on the NASDAQ very, very soon, and that's just going to keep adding on to the pressure. You guys, if you're watching this as an early investor, right now is not too late. If you've seen the big hype and you're scared, right now it's just consolidating. So it went up to about $4.50, whatever, came back down, and it's consolidating. You can look at the chart and you'll come to that same conclusion yourself. You can see that it's just holding up, and then once it gets more good news, it'll just push it up and then push it up, and then $10, $15, and then before you know it, we'll be at 30 by the end of the year. That's my target. What's your target? Let me know in the comment section down below. So they do have a couple competitors. Champignon and Atai are a couple of them. Atai is going to become public soon, and that's just going to add on to the market value. More competition, the better, really. So more and more investors literally jump into this. That's how it's going to play out. Champignon is also traded. Unlike MindMed, has not run up big time. So if you're looking into buying possibly a next big runner up, look into Champignon, because they are at 60 cents, and if they come out with good news as well and their studies go very well, it can easily hit a couple dollars and $10 by the end of the year, just like Mind Medicine is on route of doing. Champignon Brands is just a little bit behind Mind Medicine in my opinion. It's just a matter of time until they also get hands on good studies and they just run with it. There's a lot of room in this industry because people are getting now more addicted than ever to drugs, or just people feel lonely and isolated and depressed, and anxiety is running wild, ADHD. All those things literally are becoming more and more prominent each and every day now with isolations, with the lockdowns. It's been a long time since everyone's just been basically in their own little bubble, and if it keeps going on in 2 years, 3 years, you never know, like people are going to need help, and that's where Mind Medicine comes into play. It's a really good investment for the long term, and if you compare it to the likes of Johnson & Johnson, a very established pharmaceutical company, they're sitting at over $100 billion in terms of market cap. So this Mind Medicine is nothing. You can easily see your investment 30,000% in the long term, and that is my personal opinion. They're doing very well, and the reason why I'm talking about them mainly is because they do have a very good CEO. JR, like I said, puts the company before all else, and they are doing very well. They got their hands on studies for extremely cheap, so that's why they're the first movers, and you can just tell by the fact that they were the first listed company on the stock market in this industry. Really, they're literally the first movers. So if you're looking for a good investment in this industry, this is your shout. You need to look into them. You need to do your own research and come to your own conclusion. I truly believe that. That's why I'm covering this video. I usually don't do stocks. It's usually about crypto. That's why I'm covering this video, because this is a extremely good investment for the long term. What do you think? What's your price targets? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you appreciate this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you all. Mr. Muflih out.